messaging app WhatsApp has clarified in its latest blog that their recent policy update will not affect the privacy of messages with family or friends or in any way affect that, but it will include changes in their messaging business account on WhatsApp. Chandra Shrikant joins in with more details. Chandra, there's just been so much furor over this. What is WhatsApp's latest clarification on the same? Are people's privacy going to be compromised?
That's right. Some important clarifications coming in from WhatsApp at a time when it is seeing a lot of furor, people also migrating to apps such as Signal and Telegram. So in its latest blog post, WhatsApp has listed what it will have access to and what it will not have access to. So if you engage in private conversations on WhatsApp, say with family and friends, then WhatsApp cannot read those messages, neither can Facebook. Both platforms will also not have access to your calls, call logs, groups as well will remain private. So these are some of the clarifications that they have given. But on the other hand, if you're chatting with a business account on WhatsApp, those can be used to serve personalized ads on Facebook and Instagram. So that activity can be monitored. And if you're using the Shops Commerce feature on WhatsApp, they can monitor that as well to kind of personalize your experience. So that's the distinction that WhatsApp is seeking to draw at this point, that private messages, private conversations will still remain end-to-end encrypted. This comes at a time when it is facing backlash. In fact, the latest tower from the data from Sensor Tower shows a decline in the number of installations of WhatsApp from January 6 to 10. It's gone down to 1.3 million versus 2 million in the previous 5 days. Signal, on the other hand, has seen a huge spike. Over 1 million downloads in just a week versus over 20,000 in the previous 5 days. So that's the reason why WhatsApp is kind of in damage control mode for now, because remember, India is its largest market with over 450 million users.
All right, a backlash indeed for WhatsApp, but that's the latest clarification. It's only when it comes to the business accounts that there will be more scrutiny. Well, let's connect with then Akrit Vaish, who's the co-founder and CEO at Haptik, to discuss more about the impact of this on social commerce and the community as a whole. But before we do that, actually, there's lots of myths that have been surrounding WhatsApp with regard to personal information being recorded or shared. So here's a clear-cut report that really busts all of those myths.
WhatsApp has been under fire for changing its privacy policies. Data shows downloads of WhatsApp have seen a decline, while other substitutes like Signal are gaining popularity. This has forced WhatsApp to come out with clarifications to pacify its users and to stop migration to apps like Signal. We decided to debunk some myths about the debate over privacy policies. All messages will be shared with Facebook. This is false, as WhatsApp messages are stored on your own device and deleted from the servers after that. The end-to-end encryption does not allow WhatsApp to see your private calls or chats. This is the same protocol used by Signal. Content and media files will be shared with WhatsApp. WhatsApp only shows media temporarily till the file reaches the receiver according to the new policy. Ads on WhatsApp? WhatsApp has no plans to show ads at the moment. Will calls be tracked on WhatsApp? No private communications will be recorded. The calls remain between the private parties. With basic FAQs out of the way, let's look at what WhatsApp will have access to. What WhatsApp can access include conversations with business accounts, usage of commerce features like shops, interacting with a WhatsApp business via Facebook. These will be used to serve personalized ads to users on Facebook and Instagram. Divya Malani, ET Now, Mumbai.
All right, let's connect then with our guest. We've got Akrit Vaish, who is joining in, co-founder and CEO at Haptik. Thanks so much for joining in. We just want to decode what impact this has really on social commerce and the community as a whole. And we understand that a lot of businesses have come up relying on WhatsApp. So what's going to happen to them with this new scrutiny and this controversy, really?
Yeah, I think Chandra before this and then your segment did a great job and made my job a lot easier in explaining sort of what the facts are behind this new privacy policy. To answer your questions, look, and this may sound a bit contrarian compared to what's going around, but as a company, we provide businesses the ability to enable conversations and communication on WhatsApp with their customers, right? So we are, let's say, the software provider, the middleman that sits between the business and the customer and builds this layer on top of WhatsApp. So we think that in the longer term, these are positive changes for businesses specifically. Because if you read the policy and documentation fine print carefully, all of this is going to be within the business's control on how much they actually want to share this data back with Facebook for advertising. So theoretically, right, if the business decides that they don't want to actually leverage this conversational data at Facebook for any of their advertising purposes, they can't. No data will then be shared with Facebook even for ads, and nothing will happen. But I do anticipate that this will make the overall business to user engagement on WhatsApp in the longer term a lot more contextual, better, and overall a win-win.
Okay, fair enough. But, with this major switch that we're seeing overnight, literally from WhatsApp to other platforms like Signal or Telegram because of the fears that have been sparked, do you think that WhatsApp actually stands a chance to be displaced, or is it just going to be some sort of a temporary phenomenon and things will be back to normal once these clarifications are, better understood?
Hey, look, at this point, it's my personal view, as a consumer, really more than anybody else, that, WhatsApp's penetration is extremely far and wide across the world, specifically in India. I think the measure of how many internet users are in India is made by how many users are on WhatsApp sometimes. So I think to move such a robust network away to another app is difficult. At the same time, honestly, I think, like I said, your previous two segments did the job really well. There's no need. There is nothing that's changed as the average consumer for me. All my conversations are as encrypted and secure. I think Facebook or WhatsApp will admit it themselves that they could have perhaps done a better job at communication of what they were trying to do, and rather than kind of do a bit of damage control as what they are doing right now. So short answer, I think there'll be some short-term sort of impact or some people moving here and there, but longer term I don't see an impact at all, at least in India.
Okay, so any sort of a lesson here you think or takeaway for WhatsApp, or perhaps would you say that one shouldn't really rely too much on a third-party API or service?
We've been relying on as consumers and as businesses, we've been relying on third-party platforms for as long as the internet has been around. Answer to the question is like asking, should you rely on Facebook and Google for your advertising? But truth is that 80% of small businesses in this country absolutely depend on Google and Facebook for advertising to get their products out, to the right set of consumers. So I think the same holds true with a platform like WhatsApp, where it is sort of fairly ingrained in the way people do things. I think the lesson or takeaway is more actually for the ecosystem as a whole, that especially for companies like Facebook, who are trying to now establish a large WhatsApp presence in India, that they'll have to be extremely careful about how they revise their terms of services as this becomes more of a business messaging platform, how they communicate them out to the broader user base, and be very careful about just how they will use the data moving forward. I think like even you guys clarified, today this doesn't mean much. 5 years from now, 3 years from now, there could be situations where the data may be used for other things, and this is only business data, all for positive things, like I said. But it has to be very important to manage the narrative and communication carefully, especially when you're dealing with so many people and so many users.
Okay, fair enough. And on the whole, do you see social media taking a huge hit, or do you know this is only going to affect the top echelon, not really permeate down or become a mass problem, so to speak?
I think social media as a whole, has been having this scrutiny around privacy for a lot longer than just the last week, right? It all started with the US election, the Cambridge Analytics sort of piece, and then soon followed through multiple aspects. So I think I don't think this is individually and a moment or an episode that will cause much impact, but collectively, I think people are taking data privacy a lot more seriously. I think organizations like Facebook, Google, Indian companies are also, being very, very cautious and careful about how consumers' data is used. GDPR obviously was launched with this effect in the UK to make very transparent, or Europe rather, to make it very transparent how data is being used. So I think these, let me put it this way, these miscommunication-led in sort of one-off incidents just reinforce that. I think the big change for me over the last week and the way this has played out has been that, people who are not necessarily within the tech community, people who are the masses, like you mentioned, right, are questioning these things that, okay, look, where is my data going? How much data is being used? How will Facebook use this data? And that is why these clarifications, and that is why, honestly, we are doing this episode as well. So I think that will have some impact. That will have some impact across the board, across, I think, all layers of the internet population.
All right, we'll let you go on that note. Thanks so much for giving us that clarification and just a better understanding as to what this means for WhatsApp, some of the other social commerce platforms in the community as well, and debunking a lot of the myths that were surrounding the platform.